I'm here at a very special location for an iconic event, Mercedes-Maybach, with a very special guest. Santosh, what a pleasure to have you here again on the show. Santosh, it was something unprecedented in terms of the show, a drone show. We made a little island out here in the middle of Udaipur, execution right up there on top. But I'd imagine that for the TV segment and a brand like Maybach, we could expect nothing less.
No, that's true. As we say, welcome to Beyond. And if we have to show beyond, it has to be beyond expectations. That's what the brand stands for. And I think there is a lot of personalization. The brand stands for individualization. So for our customers as well as for friends from the media and the press, we thought we should do justice to the Maybach brand. And I'm also happy my colleagues from Stuttgart, they were also able to join in, and also we had international press for the first time. Yeah.
You know, it's fascinating, international press for the first time, and more importantly, from what I gather, this is the car starting at 4.2 crores ex-showroom. Something special, that entry right here with the monograms, everything galore. But 3 of them will be sold in India.
Yeah, you know, day before when we had our customers, a very select group of people, and the last bit, everything was on a high, and when I announced 3 units, and after the event, they all walked up saying, hey, why have you called us then? And of course, I think my colleague Daniel is here, he heads Maybach, so he has taken that back. This car is special because it's the first time there's a 2-seater sports car in a Maybach avatar. So I think there is a lot of interest, not only in India, but worldwide. India being a right-hand drive market, gets this car the moment this is produced, which is first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
But he's surely promised that he will help us more with a bit more cars.
But it's interesting because I'd imagine there's been a lot of exchanges with the global team, especially on this trip for you as well. But the way, and I was talking to Daniel earlier, the way the Indian market is viewed now for a brand like Mercedes-Maybach would be completely different after this trip, right? In terms of how discerning the customer is and how evolved the customer really is over here in India.
No, absolutely. They are quite demanding. You know, they were challenging on our, we have this manufacturer portfolio. Some of the, I would say, options are not open for right-hand drive markets, and then they were all challenging. No, we want everything there. And then, but I think these events really help to get this perspective in the right setup.
Mm-hmm. And Santosh, when you look at the TEV portfolio now, with Mercedes launches happening by the dozen, that market and that space is really evolving. The last time we spoke was also in Rajasthan, and we spoke about how the electrification push is there. The EQA was a big statement from the brand as well. But now when you see so many things changing in the EV ecosystem, we're talking about import duties, we're talking about Tesla probably coming in. Will these things really spur competition? Is this good for the EV sector?
Yeah, firstly, if you look at Mercedes-Benz, there's a lot of action happening in the entry EV space. And our share in the total portfolio, not only EVs, but I would say in the total luxury car market, we have a share of hardly 10% in the entry segment. Our 90% of volumes comes from core luxury and the top end, which is 25%, the ultra luxury segment. So I think we are in that sense insulated from all the noise happening there. New players always welcome. It helps to drive electrification agenda much faster. As regards tariffs and discussions, I say that, you know, 90% of the cars we are producing locally here. 100%. So there will be no change on Mercedes-Benz prices. Maybe some cars comes here, they don't need to manufacture, and still they will be able to come at a different price, which is fine, because as a multinational we feel in you know, open borders, global trade, any FTA, any global trade, because finally for the, you know, our business is on the economic wealth, prosperity and gain, and for that to happen, you know, free trade will only accelerate it, because goods just don't come in. They also has an opportunity to go back to other countries. And coming to automotive industry, I'm a big fan of the industry because I think there's a lot of competence, a lot of cost competencies, and even the Indian industries, OEMs and auto components will gain significantly when the borders are opened up.
Mm-hmm. But also for a brand like Maybach, and such a grand reveal yesterday, the customer, Santosh, from your understanding, is not necessarily only coming from the big cities, metro towns. Maybe the Chandigarhs all across Haryana, and in the south you'd have very interesting revelations from there as well.
So surely I say that, you know, there are also many metros today. Chandigarh is a large city, and Ludhiana, for example, or even Kanpur. I think we have to respect these cities because they are also a lot of wealth is there across India.
And there's interest from there.
There is interest as well. These are matured customers. You know, their kids have studied in the US, they have come back, they have driven a Maybach, and they would love to continue the same experience. They understand luxury quite well. So for us, we are expanding significantly with our service reach across India. But sales, of course, are more concentrated, that we have dedicated teams in the cities. The first Maybach lounge we opened up in Hyderabad. We have an accessory store which we have opened up in Bangalore, for example. So I think for us, we are not agnostic to where the customer is coming from, but the experience should be standardized.
And I know we've discussed this time and again, but again, now just a quick mood check in terms of the electric push versus the ICE push. Where does Santosh Iyer stand as we speak now in March 2025?
So I am still a big fan of decarbonizing the industry, because I think we have a responsibility as a brand and as an individual as well. But I always said that the pace of electrification will be decided by the customer along with the stakeholder, which is the government. So with the change in taxes, duties, structures, all of this has a role to play in the pace of electrification. But from our commitment, even the Maybach has an electric avatar. It's doing extremely well in India. Let me tell you, I don't have a car for the next 4 months. The EQS SUV Maybach, the EQS SUV, even what we introduced in Jan this year, is an absolutely well received car. So I think it's picking up, but we have the full portfolio. So we are fully set up to cater to whatever the customer needs.
It's fascinating also in terms of what's happening in Jharkhand and Mercedes HQ over here. The next time, Santosh, we do this, we should be in one of your concept cars or something that's not revealed at HQ. What a pleasure to have you as always.
Same here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.
Thanks.